Yeah, Father's Day. My son comes through the door with a bag of chips and a peppermint crisp chocolate milk sort of thing, so how can you resist? And a donut as well, so you had a choice having the peppermint crisp chocolate milk with the donut or the hot chips, so anyway, lots of sirens in the area. We had a lot of sirens yesterday. Even Auntie Sue commented there's something's going on. We think they must be after somebody for something. There's a lot of cop cars out when they had the chemo, so yeah. So I'm cute dessert, 5 right, 4 down. May have to go to 6 right, 5 down fairly shortly. The way the sun is just going, it's going to be, we can't believe it, it's going to be 31 and windy tomorrow. It's getting a little bit windy today, every now and then. So yeah, we could possibly have a bushfire, you never know. And this is early September, can't believe it. Everyone's saying we just can't believe it. So one nice crop of plantains there. Oh yeah, look at those, growing really well. You know, I just thought come down here, since I'm at Auntie Sue's, you might as well come down to the Auntie Sue's little park area. There's a little bit of a seep on the side here, which you can't see now, but it's obvious at other times of the year. And wow, glad I can look at the Rumex there. Nice. Yes, I want that keyed out by lunchtime. This is just a large Crispus. Rumex Crispus. I think it's going to be a Rumex Crispus if Trump gets back in, which is a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard my grandfather's voice, so I think all that crap about, you know, calling people losers and things like that. I mean, I want those people in that Atlantic newspaper, I want them arrested and charged and maybe put on trial. You know, prove that he said these things. If you can't prove them, I want them charged with perverting the natural course of justice. It's usually about a 5-year sentence. I want each of those, I think it's 2 reporters that did the article, if they can't prove that they actually had some evidence of Donald Trump saying these things, you know, like a recording or something, I want them charged. And yeah, I think they deserve a fine. Because what's really unconscionable is that they're having a land of these people who are dead in the cemetery and they can't fight back. That's what I think, at Donald Trump's expense. And yeah, I think that's just unconscionable. I mean, so I'm going to put that old on the internet. I want them arrested, charged, put on trial, and we'll see if these so-called reporters, or journalists, in quotes, really are journalists. You know, unnamed sources, eh? Oh, that's going to cost you 5 years, isn't it? If you can't name your source, then we're going to put you in prison, because you should have checked your source. You know, are you willing to go to prison for 5 years for an unnamed source? I mean, yeah. Have you got any chain of evidence? You know, someone said this and someone else said this, and they're vaguely very similar. Well, look at these lawn pigs here. You know. You know, you got some corroborating evidence, basically, you know. you know, this bloke wrote this sort of thing at this time, and that was the day after the thing, and this bloke, you know, did something on his phone at this time, that was right on the day, just as he got into the airport or something, you know, that sort of stuff, you know. So, well, you know, it seems highly likely that these 3 or 4 people were saying roughly the same thing at roughly whenever they got back from the cemetery or whatever. Have you got any of that sort of evidence, you know? I mean, surely you want to do that, because if you actually have that evidence, that would be your ticket to walking Donald Trump out of the White House, and probably for good. So why wouldn't you want to go on? You know, if you actually had that sort of physical evidence, surely you would be breaking your neck to get into some sort of TV studio and play that recording or show that photograph or something, you know. Or you got some lip reader or something, lip reading. Yeah, I don't think so, because I don't think it actually ever even happened. I think it's a load of bullshit again. And it's so egregious, so unconscionable. As I said, I want those journalists arrested, I want them charged, and I want them put on trial. Because I've never heard my grandfather's voice, and to take advantage of people that are just in the grave, have no way of having any retaliation against those comments, you know, at Donald Trump's expense, you know. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. That's what I want. I think I'm going to put this video up on the internet and see if you agree with me. I mean, as I said, I'd be quite with you if he actually said those comments and you got evidence of that, you know, some video, some recording or something. I wouldn't be against you walking him out of the White House. But then again, why aren't you rushing off to the TV studios, you know, breaking through the door, suddenly breaking into rushing in there, sweat coming down your thing because you've just got off, you've got this recording and you've got to show it to the whole world, you know, busting into a news program, or, you know, breaking into a news program to actually play these comments that Donald Trump has said, apparently. No, I don't think you are, because I don't think it actually happened, but, you know, I'm still giving you the benefit of the doubt. So, surely, with the release of this article, that would give you the courage, the indemnity, I suppose, the cover, to actually go further, you know. Seek out further sources for this so-called story, in quotes, you know. Actually get some named sources. I don't think you can get any named sources, because I think that's the whole thing. All these so-called unnamed sources is just fiction, fantasy. It's just been making it up. Well, sunshine, I think it's going to cost you a perversion of the natural course of justice, which is usually about a 5-year sentence that they actually slam on to other charges, just for good measure, you know. Anyway, yeah, things are pretty starting to dry out now. So, especially after tomorrow, if it's hot and windy, that'll be the first day of the soil really drying out. 3 or 4 days of the soil drying out, then all the bulbous, cormous and tuberous plants will rapidly head into dormancy. And after like 3 days usually, even if we have a heavy rain, it's too late, it can't be redeemed, they head on into dormancy. So is that what you're trying to do with this article? Get to that 3-day stage where even if there's a landslide win, he's still going to be walked from the White House on behalf of a rumour with no actual name, sources or anything, not even a telephone recording? Or is it the fact that your information comes from this hammer system or something, and you can't reveal it because to reveal it means everything they're saying about the hammer is absolutely true? They're spying on everyone all over the world, and it's not the government now, it's private contractors. Yeah. So, I mean, that's That's you, private contractors, acting as though you're the government, as though you got the legitimate nod of the people. So that's sedition, for a start. And if you're doing it against the President of the United States, or try to do it, that's treason. So either way, you're going to get a hefty prison sentence, I would think, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Because the sedition comes from the Latin word for but, you see. Okay. Oh, well, that's about it, I think. You know, I could walk down there, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. As I said, some of these trees have been falling down over a few years, and they've actually had people out here with theodolites, and they've had the most number of theodolites I've ever seen. I think it was 5 or 6. I think we counted at least 5. And now they started chopping trees down around the Happy Valley Reservoir, and which was built in 1897, and yeah, they're going to actually allow tourists to go around the edge of it. So as long as they don't pee in the water, it should be a-okay. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I think that's about it for this thing. I just walk along, but yeah, I've been peeved about this thing for at least 2 days now. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just unconscionable that you would actually do that, spite the president, at the expense of someone who has no say in the matter, because they actually gave up their life for the country, sort of thing. They're in the grave somewhere. That's terrible. I mean, you make a few veterans that angry, piss them off that much. It might it might be like the Weather Underground or something like that. They'll just take you out. Okay. Early. Nice day. Happy Father's Day, by the way. So, yeah. I just think we need to give more scrutiny to these Atlantic Journal so-called journalists. They're not. Oh, nah. Let's see if they were willing to go to prison to protect their sources. That'd be funny, won't it? I mean, they're going to prison to protect sources don't actually exist. Are they willing to take, you know, like a 5-year sentence for the team, sort of thing, on sources that they just made up? How dedicated are these so-called journalists, in quote? Are they willing to do that? Or I wrote this fiction, so I'm going to take the 5-year sentence because I don't want anyone to find out that it is fiction. Because if they find out it is fiction, I won't just get this 5-year sentence for perversion of the natural course of justice. They'll be whacking on another couple of 5 years too. For other. Of course, you won't have your journalistic license. That'll be gone. You know. Well, you can do this sort of story as long as you put underneath the article that it's a work of fiction. You see, that's why they always talk about fiction and non-fiction, because you can get away with these things. If you actually wrote the article and put in bold type underneath it that it was a work of fiction, then everyone's, oh, you know, it's satire, work of fiction. You know. You know, this would happen if we actually did find a tape recording of Donald Trump saying this sort of stuff. This is a work of fantasy, a work of fiction. So yeah, this is a nice acacia here, wattle, flowering on Father's Day 2020. And yeah, I think Donald Trump's just going to win in a landslide, actually. And then we're just going to have a whole year's worth of popcorn executions following, I would think. I mean, it would be like, what possible reason could you give us for not giving you a popcorn execution? Okay, you got me. And they read off this big long list or screed of insults, grievances. Yeah, you did this, and this. The never-ending coup. Shall we go on, or do you just want to walk the plank a little bit further? Yeah. Well, how many chances do you want? You mean the first attempt of the coup, the second attempt, the third attempt, the fourth attempt? Where do we draw the line? How many chances do we actually give you? You know? This isn't unnamed sources. This is in your own bloody handwriting. This is your own verbiage. This is Rachel mad-cowing her own words on national TV, going out to millions of people. You know, did you not say these things? Did you not do these things? Did you not print these things? You know, did you not put your name to this? Did you not show this photograph that was doctored? Etc., etc. You know, we're trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, but there seems to be no evidence to give you that benefit. Anyway, nice vetch there. I remember coming around the corner up on Picket Range Road. Oh, just before the new millennium started, I think it was 98 or 99, I think it was. I was using my mountain bike then to get up there. Came around this corner, the biggest vetch I'd ever seen anyway. Growing right next to what looked like a dumped can of paint or something, you know. Because, you know, they put titanium oxide into paint, and of course we've got a lot of it in this country. So it's fairly cheap, and there's lots of easy access to titanium dioxide. But yeah, seems to be in that sort of sodium, zinc, titanium sort of trend in the periodic table sort of thing. You know, zinc acts a bit like salt. Salt acts a bit like zinc. You know, titanium and zinc have a sort of pseudo relationship. Similarities in properties and natural abilities. Yeah, I'm just waxing lyrical, just running this clip out, fellas. Just getting this, my pet peeve of the day off my chest. As I said, I've never heard my grandfather's voice, so I definitely want these people looked into. I want them to go over them like the find. I think this is the actual thin end of the wedge. This is how Trump breaks in to breaking up the cabal of the fake news media. This is the start. Start with this. It's the tip of the triangle, and you're going to work all the way down to every other department and everything, and every other story that's come out after the last 4, 5, maybe 6 years. You never know. Seems to have gone on longer than we thought it had. And yeah, just go down the line. Now this is the chink. This is the opening. They tried this sneaky little trick using veterans at veterans' expense, dead people. Yeah, and this is going to bring them down. That's that one step too far, like in Lost World when Ernest Borgnine goes into the lava, or in Terminator 2 when he gets that shot and he overbalances. I think this is the overbalance. This is how Trump takes down the fake news media. It starts with this Atlantic article. Okay.